everybody, Kat McLeod here. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time, welcome, and feel free to like and subscribe on this video. Today we are going to be doing something a little bit different for me. I'm going to be trying a full face of makeup, but it is zero waste makeup. It's kind of a gap in the market, I find, so I really wanted to try some things out and see what's up. I'm going to be taking you through the details of that, but before I do, please don't forget to like and maybe subscribe and comment down below what you wind up thinking of this video. So I want to kind of intro zero waste to you and why zero waste was interesting to me. I follow the hashtag zero waste makeup on IG, and so through that I've discovered a lot of different brands. I think that they're being really innovative, and that is something that is really attractive to me, but also to be a little bit idealistic that like we're not going to hurt the planet anymore, and also we're going to remove guilt from the consumer when it comes to buying this. I think that that's like a really good business practice, and I'm honestly not sure why more people aren't doing that until I start looking at the reasons why I myself am not zero waste in most areas of my life. And those reasons are as follows. First of all is laziness. It can add a step or two to your routine. It takes a little bit of research to discover whether or not something is truly zero waste or whether a company is just kind of greenwashing. The next reason why I hesitate to commit to zero waste is just from like greed. Zero waste stuff tends to cost like anywhere from 10 to 30% more per product, and that's a tough ask for somebody who is wanting to be a collector. Which leads me to the next deterrent, which is consumerism. All these companies get me with new and limited edition and shiny packaging and everything. Literally just seeing other people with drawers full of NARS or of ColourPop or something is like, ooh, like I want to be like that, you know what I mean? Okay, so my first impressions of zero waste makeup. I'm scared that the performance won't be great. The reason why is when you want to buy zero waste, you're almost subscribing to like a hippie mindset, meaning like that vegan, clean beauty movement. I'm a little bit worried that it's gonna wind up being makeup for people who don't like makeup rather than makeup for people who do but just want it to be zero waste, you know, not packaged wastefully. I'm a little scared that everything is gonna wind up looking dry and patchy according to the swatches, which leads me to my next intro thing, why I chose these brands specifically. Most of this makeup I wound up buying on Etsy because I like the idea of supporting small businesses, and also it's really, really difficult to find a zero waste brand that carries everything. So you kind of have to mix and match it if you are wanting to stay truly zero waste for every single product. Also, I just wanted to kind of try the range of brands. I wanted to try pretty much every brand that I could. So branding is like a huge thing when it comes to especially the makeup world, because it's a visual product. You're buying this product with your eyes, and it was mind-blowing to me how many different brands just straight up didn't have any pictures on skin. So most of these I bought because they were easy to navigate, they had okay pictures, they had good branding, and the price point was all right. Okay, so I say let's go ahead and get in these products. There were a couple of products that I would normally use that I couldn't find or that I just didn't feel like going through the effort. So one of those things is eye primer. I don't have that. I don't have a lip liner, and I don't have a setting spray. Other than that, I think I found pretty much everything else, which is for me like pretty cool that I actually can find these products. So we're gonna see how they perform. Right now, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment down below what you think. Okay, so when it comes to eyeshadow, there were pretty limited pickings on Etsy. I decided to go with a loose eyeshadow because it was pretty much the only way that I could pack it zero waste, and also it was way more affordable to do a loose one than it was to do a pressed one. I don't know why. I'm guessing because there's no like filler. So I got this one from Little Stuff For You, and it is in the shade Blackstar Blue. It's her eye mineral. So it came in this little paper tube with her little paper label on it, and then it says on here, loose powder, tap down, then open carefully. So I'm gonna go ahead and tap it, and let's go ahead and see what we're working with here. Okay, so yeah, that's like flying everywhere. But it's a nice dark blue color, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and do like just a little bit of smokiness on the outer corner. So I'm gonna use my little smudger brush from Moda Pro, and I think I'm gonna use just what's in the lid at first. So that is a little bit more pigmented than I was expecting, and it doesn't have a ton of fallout yet. Now I'm gonna use my flat shader brush. Ooh yeah, that's intense. That looks good. That looks really good. Like, I'm impressed right now. I'm gonna get a little on a flat brush. Oh gosh. Okay, when I swipe it at all, it really doesn't want to stick down. Okay, yeah, that's what I was afraid of. It's kind of blending out to nothing. I may wind up cheating a little bit and just using my eye primer right now. That way I can get it to at least stick down on one side, because it is like, I'll be right back. So I went ahead and wiped off everything I just did, and I put on some eye primer. So hopefully that helps it stick down a little bit. That is night and day. I'm gonna use my fluffy brush and just get the leftover in the cap. And I'm going to kind of use this up in my crease, just a tiny amount. Okay, yeah, this could be tough simply because it's a dark shade. I do not think that a loose eyeshadow is gonna be my go-to in the future. So this side is doing okay. This side is a nightmare. I do have to say I'm pretty impressed with the color and the pigmentation. Next is something I am very excited for. I really wanted to see kind of how good the performance of Zero Waste can be. You know, I don't want it to be like a natural makeup look. I want it to be a glam makeup look. So I decided to go with glitter. And you may be thinking, glitter? What? But that's a microplastic. But this stuff from Glitterevolution is a bio glitter. So what that means is it is made out of a vegetable cellulose that comes from eucalyptus leaves. And that for me was like, all right, I'm already sold. And then this is the shade that I got. It's kind of a greenish gold. It's called Pure Gold. So the glitter itself, I want to say was like $15. And then the glitter balm, i.e. the glitter primer that I'm going to be using, was I think $10. So $25 does sound like a little bit of a hefty price tag, but when you think about it, I don't have to buy a glitter balm every time. It does kind of save me money in the long run. Both of these come in aluminum, which I really like because I can reuse it. This stuff sounds like really good ingredients. Pretty much all things that I want to put on my eyeball right now. Oh, it is kind of balmy. Oh yeah, it smells herbal. It smells really nice. Okay, so I'm gonna put this on that part of my lid that I did not put that blue just now. Oh, I just realized I blended my eyeshadow in two different ways. I'm going to very carefully remove this lid. Should I put it on that same brush or should I use my finger? I'll try each way. So I'm gonna first try the brush. Ooh, it kind of picks up a lot. I've had this on there. Oh my goodness. That is super glittery. Holy heck. I can already tell it's gonna be Fallout Central though. So I've got some on my finger. That is incredible. I'm definitely getting a lot more fallout with using my finger, I feel like. And it's not quite as precise, like especially up in here. I'm gonna have to scrub some of that off. So if we see glitter throughout the video, we know why and we know to forgive. For a zero waste glitter, I would say that's a win. It actually says on it, that is so funny, biodegradable guilt-free glitter. So now that we are done with the eyes, I want to move on to complexion. I have this little primer. It is the Face Base All Natural, oh, it says eye primer. Gosh dang it. This is from ScentCerae. The nice thing is they sent in their package a little bit of literature about the product. So it's got the ingredients, it's got the instructions, and then they also sent a little vinyl sticker. Oh, on the back of this it says free shipping when you use coupon code ZEROSHIP. There you go. So as far as I know, I just push up from the bottom like a little push pop. Okay, yeah, now we're moving. Yay! Okay, it's kind of breaking off of the edges, which is, you know, fine. So I can kind of feel it going on. It feels a lot like a lip balm or like a sunscreen stick. It smells incredible. It smells like Fruit Loops. It does feel a little oily on my skin, and that's kind of, you know, I don't really love that. But this would be super easy to travel with, just this little thing. So yeah, pretty nice, pretty decent. The Zero Waste foundation that I chose is from Elate Cosmetics, and I chose their Uplift foundation. I didn't know what shade was going to be right for me. They only have like 8 shades in their foundation. So I decided that I was going to go with their sampler, which gives you 3 shades in these little tiny aluminum tins. And I did the same thing for their concealer, or their revealer as they call it. So for the foundation, I'm going to use the shade UN2. So it's just kind of like a cream in there. I decided I would go ahead and try a zero waste sponge option. Most sponges are made of latex, which I honestly haven't educated myself to know if that's biodegradable or not, but I'm guessing not. And I saw these and they just intrigued me. So this is what I got from Amazon. It is from the brand 4 Pro, and they are compressed cellulose sponges. I got a pack of 12 for like $7, I think, and they kind of expand to this soft, like dish sponge texture, which is exactly what I wanted, because way back when on YouTube there was a challenge of doing your makeup with dish sponges, and the general consensus was that it turns out exactly the same as a latex beauty sponge. So I decided to try it out because it just seemed intriguing to me, and I wanted to see if this would be an option for zero waste. Oh, this is like a thick foundation. It's like a frosting almost. Oh, this may be the wrong shade. I think I need to go one up. Correction, I'm gonna use UN1. That looks much closer to my skin tone. And then I'm just gonna use my sponge. This sponge may soak up more product than I like. Let's try another layer because that did not give me very much coverage at all. So from one side to the other, I'm truly not seeing very much of a difference. Maybe a tiny bit less redness on this side where I just applied it. So we're gonna have to use a brush for the other side. Oh yeah, that's much better already. I'm getting like medium coverage out of it. I don't think that cellulose sponge is going to work out for me, simply because I think it just soaks up too much product. So I think I'm just going to wind up using that for like cleansing and exfoliating my face like it's intended. It is quite thick looking and it's kind of settling on the skin. We're going to see how it looks after I blend it in with a damp latex sponge. Yeah, so as I'm trying to blend it in, it's kind of just picking up more and more foundation. So yeah, I'm okay with it, but I'm actually really glad that I did not spend whatever it was, $36 on the full-size foundation. I've never had more glitter fallout. You know what it is? This is my hooded eye side. It like scrapes it off of the layer underneath that fold. So that's what's happening. Okay, well that makes me feel a lot better, because I was like, why is it only doing it on one side? Hooded eyes. Gosh dang it. Next, we're going to use some of their cream revealer. I have 2 different shades. This one is their CN2, and then this is CN1. So quite a big difference between the 2 of those, color balance wise and shade wise. So I think I'm just going to use CC1. It started sweating a little bit. It's like pretty hard in there. It's like not wanting to melt. Did it dry out since getting to me? Did all the oils leave it? Is that what the droplets are? I'm going to grab some of that now, and I'm going to put it just in the corners of my eyes. And right there. And then using my regular concealer brush, just going to blend that out a little bit. That's got decent coverage. I would say it's medium. And just see if I can build it up at all. So if you're looking for a zero waste concealer, the Elate one is pretty okay. Next, I have a product from the brand RiverOrganics, and it is their bronzing stick. Very cute packaging. It kind of has like a little bit of gold foil. Okay, so here's the product. It kind of is a little messy. Let's see how it swatches. Oh no. Oh gosh. It is literally orange and it is patchy. It's like greasy looking. Okay, so when I blend it out with my fingers, it's getting a little bit better. I don't know if you can see that, but it is pretty grainy. I'm just a little bit appalled at myself that I paid $18 for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and smear some on my hand, and then I think I'm going to use that little sponge and just try to apply it to my face from here and pray that I don't pick up any of that foundation. You know what? I'm going to use a stipple brush instead. It's applying okay, and it looks okay on the skin. It's not the worst I've ever seen. It's not the best. It's kind of nice, actually. This is like a bronzer gloss sort of thing. Okay, yeah. This is not as bad as it seemed at first. It is a little too ready for me. Is it worth $18? No, but would I pay 10 or 12 for it? Yeah, probably. Just my humble opinion. Next, we have a cream highlighter from the brand with the best branding, Nudie Goods. It's their bioluminescence thing. It doesn't really say on it, it just says bioluminescence. Each product has a different animal on it, and it's like an illustration that really is on brand, and it just goes with the whole thing. Okay, so it looks like a really nicely made tube. I don't smell anything. I'm guessing this is going to be clear with a little tiny bit of white shimmer to it. I'm guessing we're going to be able to see it a lot better on my face, so let's go ahead and try it. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to apply this directly or if I'm supposed to put it on my fingers first, so I'll try it directly. Yeah, that's just smearing my foundation around. It like grabbed a patch of it. So let's try it with the fingers. I'm guessing you're not supposed to wear this with foundation. I truly don't see anything. Okay, I see it on my actual lip, and maybe I see it a little bit above my lip. Maybe putting this on underneath my entire makeup would help my makeup to look glowier, but putting it on just gives it a little bit of a almost sweaty look, which I do enjoy. I enjoy that dewiness, but I don't know that it's an actual like highlighter. Let me try putting it on my lips. Hang on. No, that just looks terrible. It looks like crusty lips. So it doesn't work as a lip balm either. Sad. So we've had a few misses that performed worse than I wanted, but exactly like I expected. Okay, so next we are going to use a powder foundation. I couldn't find like a setting powder, so this was as close as I could get. This is from a brand called Foraged Fields. I freaking love their branding, and that is like 90% of the reason why I bought this, but also because it just had better pictures for the actual shade range. I want to say they had 8 shades as well, maybe 6, which for a powder I think is a little bit more forgivable than for like an actual foundation. But I love this little fairy jar it came in. The color looks like a good color. I was number 2. I think she had a 0 and a 1 as well. So let's just pat this under the eyes. Okay, so it instantly darkened my concealer. I don't think it added much coverage at all. Let's see what it does for the rest of the face. It is kind of making my foundation look powdery, but I do think it is a little bit of a setting powder, yeah. So, pretty okay. I'm feeling weird without any brows on, so we're going to go ahead and do some brows. Typically, I like to do a gel and a pencil, so I decided to go with 2 different products from 2 different brands. First of all, the Nudie Goods Lion Brow Taming Wax, and this from Little Stuff For You. It is a single pan. She said that this was exactly the same color as her brow powder, but she was out of it, so I decided to go with her recommendation. She was very sweet. So this is just a clear wax in this little slidey thing, and I'm just going to use a spoolie and put that through my brows really quick. So it's kind of not coming off super easily. I'm gonna wax it up. Okay, so I'm feeling a soft amount of hold. It's not like the stickiest thing in the world. The more I brush it through, the smoother it's getting. It's almost like it's melting. Now moving on to the brow powder, and I'm just going to use a little angled brush. Very much fallout. So it's pretty pigmented. It's not sticking to that wax, which is really nice to see. I am unsure about the staying power of this. I can definitely update you guys in a couple of weeks if y'all want to know. Pretty okay with this as it stands. I just drew on a brow, so that's good. Okay, I think that's about as good as it's gonna get. Yeah, I think it's pretty okay. Next is a blush from Clean Faced Cosmetics. The reason why I bought it from her is because she's just the cutest person, and I really liked her Etsy page. It was very informative. She just seems like a really reasonable person. So I just bought this shade in Petal Pink, and it is kind of a coral rose shade. So I'm just gonna grab a tiny amount from the top, tap it off in the lid. I'm just worried that this is gonna be a bit patchy. A lot of her pictures were not clear on like what the color is gonna be like or the performance. So I'm a little bit anxious about this. Although that looks really nice, doesn't it? That is pigmented. I'm seeing like a little bit of patchiness, but I honestly think that is my skin showing through, and that is not her blush, because this is blending out really nicely. And it is heckin' pigmented. Like, dang, girl. Whew. Don't panic, don't panic. She is one of those brands that could really benefit from like finding a design student and paying them $50 to redesign all of her labels, because her products are way better than what they look like from the branding. And when it comes to the pictures of her products, I think that a lot of these brands would be really smart to send their customers a message or an email and tell them, if you'll email us a photo, a good picture basically of you with this product on, we'll give you 20% off your next purchase or whatever. Either that, or you could, again, find a photography student, pay them $50 to take pictures of all of your products. All that being said, I think that this product it's really nice. I'm enjoying the blush. I really like the color. It's true to what she was showing online, and the performances, from what I can see, it's pretty nice. So I'm super happy about that. I think that's my favorite product so far. Next is highlighter. I have two different ones because Elate Cosmetics sent me a little sample of their glowing powder. And then this is the one that I originally purchased to try. This is from Vienna Plant Beauty. This is their champagne highlighter. And this, I think, cost me $14 for this little tiny thing. So let's go ahead and see how this performs. Okay, so it looks like a regular little flat white powder. It's got a little bit of shimmer in it. I'm a little bit worried looking at it right now because it doesn't look like it's gonna do very much. So I'm gonna just grab some on the end of my brush and then tap it off in the lid. Okay, let's see. Let's grab a little more, why don't we? Okay, there it is. And there it goes. It's very gritty. Let's just see. It really doesn't swatch at all. That did literally nothing. It's really not adding very much color. So let's put some on the nose and see how that does, because that's usually a telltale sign. And nothing. This is what I meant about like makeup for people who hate makeup but feel obligated to still wear it, or who just enjoy the process of like putting something on their face but don't want it to actually have an effect. This is exactly what I'm talking about. That makes me kind of mad because, like I said, it was $15, and because it's from overseas, it took like 7 weeks to get here. That could have just been COVID, but it still took 7 weeks. You know what I mean? It's kind of aggravating. Alright, so let's try the Elate Cosmetics one on the other side of the face and see if it's any better. I highly, highly doubt it. Yeah, so there's just a little bit down in the bottom of there. Don't mind if I do. Let's go. Severely disappointed on all of the highlighters here. I was really expecting that at least one of the three that I picked up would do something. Clean Face Cosmetics wouldn't have let me down. So next thing that we're going to use is something that I have been excited for literally ever. And I think that that was about 10 years ago. This is the Besame Cosmetics Black Cake Mascara. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. So this comes with a little brush. Plastic, sadly, but I mean, I'm only going to buy one. But I do still kind of wish that like they would sell it without the brush, but with the tin. I think most people wind up throwing the brush away, and especially if you're like me and you have 1,000 different spoolies that you could use. I have old mascaras that I can wash off the brush. Wait a second. So I went ahead and washed off the Too Faced Better Than Sex wand. We're gonna test the wands side by side and see which eye looks better. So we're gonna really put it through its paces today. We're gonna go ahead and curl the lashes. We're gonna see how this actually winds up looking. I'm probably gonna zoom you in really, really close for this as well. Curl them real good. That side is like super curled. The way that this mascara works is you put a little bit of water on the cake and then you kind of scrub it with your brush. So the more water you use, the thinner it's gonna be. We're gonna go ahead and try it out. So let's go ahead and unwrap this little package. It's so pretty, I almost don't wanna unwrap it. So it looks like a little chiclet. It's not coming off on my fingers. Okay, so I have this little container of water. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to just dip the ends of it in the water. They said to start with like 1 drop when you do it. Grab it We have to test it out. Hang on. So that kind of made like a grayish color. So let's just keep doing that. This is kind of a fun process. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that, but it's got little droplets on the end of each group of bristles. So we're gonna try this now. Ooh. Okay, so it's definitely, I'm getting something. Ooh. Okay, so that definitely performed like a normal mascara on my bottom lashes. And my lashes are still, you know, moderately curled. They're not like super curled, but they're not uncurled. You know what I mean? So I'm going to leave that to dry, and we're going to do one coat on the other side, and then I'll put a second coat on each side as well. So using the Too Faced Better Than Sex wand, I'm going to bend it real quick. That way it lays flat like that. Okay, so that's pretty thick right there. I just got that off of this brush. Whew, okay, let's find out. Yeah, it's just tough to get like an even amount on your brush. So it does give your lashes a nice soft effect, like they are not clumping up at all, but it is kind of causing mine to fall because it's making them wet with water. Let's go ahead and try a second coat on each. So I'm not seeing a big difference in the way that I applied it. Both of my sets of lashes just look a little bit darker and a little bit wet. So maybe for like an everyday mascara, this would be perfect. I don't think you're gonna get a glam mascara look. I don't know that I would pay $20 to refill it, but if you're like desperately looking for a zero waste option, I think this is a mascara. They say that you can also use it as an eyeliner, and I definitely think it would be effective as an eyeliner. It is heckin' black, like, okay, it does scrape off nice and clean as well, so that is something to rejoice over. Last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and use my lip product. I got this from Axiology. This is their Lip to Lid Balmy. I'm not a big fan of multitasking products, especially when it goes on your lips and another part of your face, because I just imagine that it's gonna be either too greasy for my face or too dry for my lips. But we'll find out. It just comes in this little paper box and it's got paper wrapped around it. So I chose the shade Clementine. This wound up being like, I think $15, or maybe I found a coupon with honey and it was only like 11. But still, oh my goodness, this is horrible. My top lip is always better than my bottom lip, so it's doing that weird like cakey effect. It is not creamy at all. Definitely too dry for my lips and not pigmented enough to cover up like dead skin problems that my lips are having. And it's like doing that weird thing where it gathers in the lines of your lips. I do not like this at all. This is like the opposite of what I wanted. It's very lumpy on the stick as well. Like it looks like it's like grainy. It's not balmy enough. Like, it's called a balmy and it's not balmy. That makes me so sad. But I do like the color. I will say that for it. $14, man. Like, I would try one of their lipsticks though, because I just think that's a different product than this. But I would not recommend the balmies. That looks like lipsticks that I've thrown away before. Okay guys, so this is the completed look. The final verdict on these products is it's not great. I'm gonna say that it's not great. So I'm just gonna go through one by one. The face primer, it was good. It felt like I was putting a lip balm on my face, but it was okay, and I really like the ingredients that are in it. It just feels a little greasy on the skin. The Elate foundation and concealer. The foundation I didn't like, the concealer I kind of liked. The bronzing stick actually worked out okay. I didn't see too much of an effect, but with a stipple brush, I felt that it was pretty easy to apply. RiverOrganics looks like a nice brand on Etsy. They're just a little bit on the expensive side for what they're providing, in my opinion. Nudie Goods, the bioluminescence, I just didn't like it. It was just kind of a dewy stick. Maybe I would use it under another foundation, but I don't think I would use it as a cream highlighter ever again. When it comes to the powder foundation from Forage Fields, I felt that it did a powder's job, but not really like a foundation's job. It kind of darkened my under eyes, but it did mattify my skin a little bit, and it was pretty light. It just I don't know that it's my favorite texture. But I do like that it came in this reusable little jar because I'm going to keep this forever and ever. Clean Face Cosmetics Blush. I think that was one of my favorite products here. The color was really nicely balanced. It was very pigmented, but it blended out pretty well. So I'm pretty happy with this. I just think that her packaging needs a little bit of help with the design of the label. So little stuff for you. I tried both of these eyeshadows. The loose one, it was tough to blend out, and I'm not exactly sure if that was my fault. I think it probably was, but it was really nice and pigmented and it stayed true to color. And then this guy for my eyebrows, I'm probably going to continue using this. It was a nice cool tone taupe, and I felt that it did a good job. It was a little dusty, but honestly, I think I can work with it. So I'm really happy with these two purchases. The Lion Brow Taming Wax, I think it did its job. I think if you had super unruly eyebrows and you really needed some hold and some lift, you would probably not be super happy with this. But I think that for what it is, I'm going to be happy with it, and I'm not super picky when it comes to brow products. So good job, Nudie Goods. The Cake Mascara, I just really enjoyed the process of using it. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you again next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and don't forget to watch another video. Why not? Okay, bye!